Welcome to the Inner Whisper, your sacred pause to return to yourself. It's Monday, it's Friday. Yay! Thank you for listening. This week, we talked about intention, those decisions that begin with desire and clarity. And we also talked about what happens when we want to do something, but we don't. About the pause, about procrastination, about that uncomfortable moment when something stops and we are not sure how to return. And I want to close this conversation from a simple and honest place. Because after intention, after the pause, after doubts and attempts, one thing becomes clear. The problem is not doing it perfectly. The problem is believing that because it wasn't perfect, it's no longer worth returning. Today isn't about rigid discipline or pushing yourself harder. It's about the kind of continuity that comes from care. Because what sustains us over time is not perfection. It's returning over and over. There is something we often misunderstand about motivation. We think motivation comes first and action follows. But in real life, it's usually the opposite. Motivation appears after we begin. And this is where your why matters. Knowing why you're doing this. What you truly want to create lives beneath this habit, this project, this change. Not as pressure, but as an anchor. When your why is clear, you don't need to force yourself. The body understands direction. The mind organizes itself, and then energy follows. Even a small step makes sense. We often think progress means doing everything. But most of the time, progress simply means not stopping completely. Taking one step, even if it's slow, even if it looks different than you imagined. That step brings you closer. And when you start to notice results, even subtle ones, something shifts. You feel a bit more energy, a bit more clarity, and enthusiasm appears. Not loud or dramatic, just steady. That feeling tells you, this is helping me. And almost without realizing it, you want to return. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because your body remembers how it feels. That's why motivation doesn't exist on its own. It's cultivated. It grows every time you choose to return from care instead of punishment. What matters is not how many times you pause. What matters is how you returned. It's not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. You returned from love. You returned remembering your why. You returned taking the step that's possible today. That's continuity. That is presence. And to support you returning, I want to share with you the 3 paths. The first one, return to your why. When you feel disconnected, don't start with what you should do. Return to your why. Why does this matter? What's behind this intention? What is my goal? Not as pressure, but as an orientation, a guide. Meaning restores movement. Second path. Notice how it feels. Once you remember your why, listen to your body. Do you tense or soften when you begin? Does your energy drain or awaken you? The body gives constant feedback. Listening helps you adjust the rhythm without leaving the path. And the third path, let results motivate you. When you take a step, something responds. When you feel a shift, however small, that builds motivation, not before the step, but after it. And that is how the cycle continues, meaning, movement, response, and the desire to return, not from obligation, but because it feels right. You start to look better. You start to advancing, getting closer to your goal. That's the kind of path that lasts. And let's bring all this to our body. Let all this information settle. Let's start with our breath of light, always inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth with a sigh. First breath, inhale gently, remembering your why, and exhale, softening the body. Second breath, inhale, noticing how you feel now. And let go, releasing pressure. Third breath, inhale, opening to returning little by little. And with a big sigh, let go of perfection. Stay here for a few seconds. Allow your breath to settle. Maybe today you didn't do everything you planned. Maybe the pace was slower than expected. And still, something important happened. You stayed present. You remembered what matters. You chose not to abandon yourself. That's continuity. Motivation doesn't grow from pressure. It grows when small steps aligned with what you want to create. So today isn't about arriving. It's about continuing, about returning with intention and honoring what's possible now. And to close, I want to leave you with a reminder from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, if you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. That's the key. Not perfection, but the quality of your return. And I want to leave you with this mantra. I returned with love. I celebrate each step. I hope you continue doing your resolutions and your projects, and I want to hear how you're moving towards that goal. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, like this video to help our community grow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for returning one whisper at a time. Have an amazing weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Until then, love deeply, shine brightly, and embrace your journey because it's beautiful. Ciao.